Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Seated. She's as good a court reporter as she's a singer. Except for that. At this time, I want to introduce Ed Norton, who's the District Director of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, to make some welcoming remarks.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, everyone. I have a special message to read today from our director of our agency. His name is L. Francis Cisna. He's the director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. My fellow American citizens, on behalf of all the dedicated men and women of the Department of Homeland Security, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, I want to congratulate you on becoming citizens of our great nation today. As Americans, we are united not by background, race, or religion, but rather by our common citizenship, which is based on democratic ideals, equal and individual rights, and shared responsibilities. Upon taking the oath of allegiance, you join a long legacy of Americans who have contributed to the vibrancy and success of this great country. As you are now part of this special legacy, I encourage you to use your talents and skills each day to build a better, stronger, and brighter America for all here and for the future generations to come. Along with all the rights you now have comes the responsibilities of citizenship. It is now your duty to make positive contributions to your community and to the nation. The United States welcomes you, and as fully vested members of this great nation, may you chart a successful path as our newest citizens. Sincerely, L. Francis Cisna, Director, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Thank you. Your Honor.
My name is Judge Geraci. I'm the Chief Judge of the Western District of New York, which covers the area between Buffalo and Rochester to Pennsylvania on the west, Canada on the north, and Pennsylvania on the south, over to Syracuse on the east, the large territory. We want to welcome everybody to this important and special celebration in which this country will be blessed with 41 new citizens from 26 different countries. The United States of America is a nation of immigrants. Ethnic, religious, and cultural diversity make us richer. We must certainly have differences. However, we are bound by common shared values. Freedom, justice, fairness are the principles that bind this country. This is a nation that welcomes all to pursue the American dream and a better life for their family. This is a country where you are free to maintain your own ethnic and racial identity while developing your own American traditions. The Statue of Liberty is inscribed with the words, "Give me your tired, poor, your humble masses, burning to breathe free, the wretched refuge of your teeming shore. Send me thee, the homeless, at the spot to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." We are truly a melting pot of cultures and traditions. The Irish came here to flee hunger, the Italians to escape poverty, the Jews to avoid the Holocaust. People came here to seek refuge from dangerous and intolerable conditions. Many of the journeys the individuals took were difficult. Some climbed over walls, others scaled barbed wire fences, crowded into small boats, or waded across a raging river. Often these individuals arrive with little and leave other family members behind with the hope that they too will join them. All were willing to take the risk in their pursuit of happiness and security. They seek asylum in the land of freedom. President John F. Kennedy stated every American who has lived was either an immigrant themselves or a descendant of immigrants. Some famous United States citizens who were immigrants include songwriter Irving Berlin, former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, Van Halen, Joni Mitchell, sex therapist Dr. Ruth, Andrew Carnegie, and I hate to say this as a Boston Red Sox fan, but Yankee pitcher Mariano Rivera. And a man who now has a very popular play named after him, Alexander Hamilton. We welcome those from other nations. This country is all about building bridges, not walls. I am a first-generation American. My father and his family journeyed here to New York City and Caltanissetta, Italy in 1926. My maternal grandmother made a similar journey from County Cork, Ireland. Without their willingness to take the risk of uprooting their family, my family and I would not be here today. My family, my children, are also German and Swedish, that's my wife's background, so they're truly American. President Barack Obama once stated, "America is a student who defies the odds to become the first in the family to go to college, the citizen who defies the cynics and goes out there and votes, the young person who comes out of the shadows to demand the right to dream." That is what America is all about. Now, as Ed stated, freedom isn't free. Citizenship is about membership in a community. We have an obligation to speak out against destructive language of hatred and bigotry. The toxic debate about our immigration policy does not represent the American ideal. Citizenship is a personal responsibility. You can and must assure that liberty, freedom, and justice prevail for all. You have now earned the right to vote. Your responsibility is to register. Exercise that right intelligently. Read about topics of interest. Learn who your government officials are. Find out pertinent information about political candidates. Write or call your legislators. If you wish, join a political organization. Don't just complain about the government or those in power, because you are the government and you have the power. Use it. Don't be a stranger to our courtrooms. This is your justice system. Respond favorably when you're asked to serve on a jury. You've earned the privileges of free citizens. Get involved in your neighborhood associations. Being an American is not a spectator sport. Be determined to get involved when you see injustice. Citizenship is granted to some by God and by birth, others by law and their own choice. Everybody here, these 41 individuals today, have chosen to become an American citizen. President Barack Obama again described what being an American is all about. What makes someone American isn't just blood or birth, but the allegiance to our founding fathers' principles and faith that anyone from anywhere can write the next chapter of our story. This morning, in today's Democrat and Chronicle, contains a story about the 4th of July 1942, and how tens of thousands of Japanese Americans celebrated, although they were detained in detention centers. They celebrated even though they're surrounded by barbed wire. Most of those held at that time were American citizens. Half of them were children. And instead of expressing anger or bitterness, These people celebrated by parading and conducting skits. They recited the Pledge of Allegiance, and if they didn't have a flag, they drew one on the walls. History has a habit of repeating itself. Today, thousands of children are being held in these detention camps throughout our country, separated from their parents. Today's story, relating to how we treat those who have fled to this country, really should be troubling to all Americans. The practice of forcibly separating children from their parents is not an American ideal. Placing children in cages and cells violates our sense of decency and respect. Returning individuals to countries where they have no connection is illogical and unfair. Children being brought into immigration courts to explain their presence makes no sense. Having a 3-year-old who barely speaks be summoned to court without their parents, without counsel, to explain why they fled to this country. That is not an example of American constitutional due process. A mother recently reunited with her 7-year-old daughter after she was separated for months warned others, "I would advise people to find another country to seek refuge. Your child is a treasure, and to have them separated from you is very painful." That should never be the view that people have of our nation. President George Bush marveled in the commitment of individuals to seek a better life when he said, "It says something about a country that people around the world are willing to leave their homes and their families, risk everything to come to America. Their talents and hard work make America a leader in the world, and each generation will ensure that America remains a beacon of liberty." I want to tell you a little story about a dreamer and a lawyer. There's a young woman in Rochester, New York, 21 years of age. She came to this country at the age of 3. Although she's undocumented, her parents hold green cards, and her siblings are United States citizens. She's a dreamer and protected under DACA. The young woman is intellectually limited, has special needs. She's dependent on her family. She attended school in Rochester in a special education program. And while a student in a local school, she posted some inappropriate comments on Facebook. She was arrested and charged with a felony. Fortunately, she had a very talented attorney who represented her and explained the circumstances of her acts and her background and her limitations to the prosecutor and the judge that resulted in a favorable disposition of her criminal case. After serving 4 months in jail, the judge ordered her release. It was believed that the offense that she pled guilty to was not a deportable offense. She was presented with a graduation certificate while in jail and waited in anticipation to rejoin her family. Her family prepared her home, decorated with balloons, welcome signs, streamers. However, she left the county jail. ICE officials detained her, transported her to the Batavia Detention Center where she is today. She was scheduled for a hearing by an immigration officer. There was a possibility that she could be ordered back to Mexico, a country she barely knew since she came here at the age of 3. The only home she knows is Rochester, New York. The woman's name is Abigail Hernandez. The lawyer helped craft the disposition of Abigail's case that gives her the hope of returning home to a real home in Rochester, and demonstrated that the voice of reason can be heard, is my son, Michael Tracy. You see, Abigail's case represents an opportunity for this nation to demonstrate that principles that are part of our fundamental values, justice and liberty for all, enforcement of laws relating to immigration is important. However, it must always be tempered by compassion and respect for human dignity through the exercise of appropriate discretion. It should be everybody's hope that justice will prevail in Abigail's case. We'll leave you a little citizen's homework. Read about the case of Abigail Hernandez. And if you are convinced it's the right thing to do, send her, maybe your immigration judge, a card or a letter expressing your support. Not that she receive a particular disposition, because that would be inappropriate, but rather that she receive justice tempered with compassion. Senator Robert F. Kennedy encouraged citizens to act when he said, "No one can be discouraged by the belief there is nothing one person can do against the enormous array of the world's ills. misery, ignorance, and violence. Few will have the greatness to bend history, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events. And in total, all those acts will be written in the history of a generation. It is not unpatriotic to demean an injustice, rather it's quite patriotic. You are now part of that American story. You are part of the next chapter to be written. You have the power to make America good again, fair again, and just again. Thank you and welcome, my fellow Americans. This time it asks Carmen Whaling, Field Officer, Director of the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services, to make a motion.
Good morning. It is my pleasure today to introduce 41 candidates for United States citizenship. They come from 26 different countries around the world. At this time, I will call out each of those countries, and I ask that as each candidate hears his or her country of birth and or citizenship, please stand and remain standing. Bangladesh, Belize, Bhutan, Burma, Canada, China, Colombia, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Egypt, Haiti, India, Iraq, Italy, Laos, Mexico, Morocco, Russia, Somalia, Syria, Taiwan, Thailand, Turkey, Ukraine, United Kingdom, and Vietnam. Each person has voluntarily come forward to state his or her own personal declaration of independence from all former allegiances and loyalties, just as our forefathers did over 242 years ago. Each candidate is of good moral character, attached to the ideals and principles of the United States, and eligible in all respects for citizenship upon taking the prescribed oath of allegiance of the United States and its Constitution. Your Honor, the candidates for naturalization are now ready to take the oath of renunciation and citizenship.
Thank you. The motion is granted. At this time, I'd ask those 41 individuals, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and observe all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereign, to whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by law, that I will perform non-combatant service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by law. And that I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations, you are now United States citizens. I'm not sure if most of you know this, but when adults do get naturalized as citizens, their children also become citizens, children under the age of 18. So we're going to be honoring those children today as well when we present the certificates to the 41 individuals. We're going to give those children a American flag pin as well to recognize them. At this time, I'd like to introduce Giovanni Villa from Italy, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody can please rise. Giovanni? Certainly dressed for the occasion. Pledge of Allegiance. United States of America, and of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time you may be seated. We're going to be calling forward the individual presentable certificate. Before we do that, we do have another musical selection by Image City Sound. I'm not sure where they are. There you are, of course. At this point, we're going to be presenting the certificates to the 41 individuals. If anybody wants to take photos, feel free to come up and take photos during the presentation of the certificate.
Joyoti Chaudhary from Bangladesh. Qian Ding from the People's Republic of China. Maria Pano de la Cruz from Dominican Republic. Giovanni Villa from Italy. Dinesh Lamgiri from Bhutan. Lidmulia Mikhailовna Shakitska from Russia. Prafula Dinkaro Patil from India. Yokarni Prafula Patil from India.
I think so, yes. You know, I think it'll be better. Did you guys have any breakfast?
Ilhan Demirigurian from Turkey. Hussein from Somalia. David John Simpson from Canada. Doris Perez from Colombia. Stephen Kyle Tolley from the United Kingdom. Yin Wei Wu from Taiwan. Ting Huzan Wu from Taiwan. Nail El Saad from Egypt. Sajan Singh Dior from Canada. Tien Quy Phong from Vietnam. Fatma Nazar Jassim Al-Babi from Iraq. Yusel Emilger from Cuba. Kanar P. Polycarp from Burma. Palreb Polycarp from Burma. Pisfami Panacha from Laos. Ahmed Babuchi from Morocco.